What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today, test has been passed. The defense steps up and plays huge in the game against Cleveland. Washington goes out and puts up another 30-point effort in the game, 34-12 against the Cleveland Browns. It was. This team is really on showcase right now. You're talking about Washington is now number 2 in the NFC standings. If the season was to stop today, the Washington wouldn't get the bye. But again, to be playing this good and actually be performing at a level that we're not comfortable with, that we haven't seen in a very long time, this has been very impressive by this Washington team. The defense woke up, and it woke up big time. The defensive line kept Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu very clean, and they had a fantastic game. I think Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner both had about 7 tackles, probably like 3 assisted on each one, but they were tackling out there. Frankie Louvu was all over the place. I think he had 2 sacks, and I think Bobby Wagner had about 2 sacks. So again, the defense stepped up very big in this game, and again, they did a fantastic job. It was the thing of like the concern of like, can the offense keep it up enough that the defense doesn't hinder us? And it now seems like the defense is more than likely on the same page as with the offense. I told everybody that this was going to be a test for Jaden Daniels, and it was. But he still looked good. He still did things in this game that made it very special and made it very acceptable. That at the fact that when he got in trouble, he actually used his legs to his benefit versus just running into it or just taking the ball and running. He actually utilized his legs very well, and he actually got out a lot of bonds. They started to spy him a little bit with Joker. They were spying him a lot with Joker in this game, but he actually was able to get around Joker on several plays, get around Myles Garrett on several plays, get around Za'Darius Smith on several plays, and man, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, McNichols, our running game is really together this season. And we're looking at it. Not only that, you're talking about Cliff Kingsbury's play calling, like, we in Washington has such a problem with situational awareness, and now all of a sudden we see what it's like to deal with somebody who understands what the situation is and doesn't think the pitch on 4th and 1 to not your top running back but a backup running back. Like those type of things matter a whole lot. And like I said, again, the defense really woke up today. I'll tell you, they passed the test. Washington passed the test for me, and this was a game that you could not get more excited about it. Again, Terry McLaurin, 100-something yards receiving today, missed getting a touchdown, but yet Jaden Daniels still threw one to De'Ami Brown. This was a huge game. Like I said, today was the running back game. The running backs were the name of the game. They sat up there and they controlled the game. Brian Robinson, he kind of went out early. I don't know if he got injured or tweaked his injury a little bit, but he went out kind of early. well, like later in the game, but we didn't see him after a while. Austin Eckler, man, you can't say enough about this guy. I mean, he makes we basically have our version of Christian McCaffrey. Austin Eckler has always been this type of guy, and the fact that he goes out there and plays as hard as he does at the age of 30. I mean, man, it's impressive. It is really impressive. And of course, McNichols sat up there and got us a touchdown and gave maximum effort as well. Offensive line, again, they did a pretty decent job standing up to this Cleveland defensive line. Early on, they struggled some. But as the game went on, they kind of settled in, and next thing you know, they really started to handle the Cleveland Browns defensive line and did a fantastic job with it as well. So again, very impressive when Washington goes out there and just, here we are again. Another game where we score 30 plus points in a game. And the offense the offense looks pretty good, like it always does. But again, like I said, this wasn't the best output, but the fact that they didn't have to rely on Jaden so much, they relied on the running game more. Again, this was a good thing. Jaden getting the opportunity to really be tested, to get his opportunity to see what can happen if he faces a defense that could be a problem for him. Denzel Ward did go out, but again, he still was doing a fantastic job against that defense, especially when it came to getting out there. Once he saw that there was no play, then all of a sudden he ran. Like I said, with Jaden, understand he still hasn't learned everything yet. Wait until he's able to genuinely see the field. When he's actually able to look beyond more than just his first read, because they talked about it in the game where they took away his first read and they're forcing him to read the field. But he was reading the field. It's just that it just seemed like he was a little more taken off. But again, what do you expect from a rookie quarterback? What do you really expect from a guy who's still just a rookie? So like I said, again, fantastic job. I can't harp enough praise on this team. They did a really good job this time around. I think we saw Tressway twice. I think we saw Tressway twice. So again, like I said, fantastic game. This game, a game ball has to go to the defense. The defense actually did what they needed to do. Because understand this, if this was the defense from a game ago, 2 games ago, or even a game ago, we may not win this game. But the fact that the defense came up big, and like I said, that defensive line did its job. I know a lot of y'all might say, John, they got a lot of pass rush up there, and them keeping Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner clean, that is what you want to see in your defense. Frankie Louvu was all over the place. Every time you turn around, he was making a play. And that type of, when the defensive line works the way that it did today, seeing Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu both have big games, that is what you get from that. Not only that, the secondary didn't look that bad. Sandra Steele was playing on the outside. St. Juice played a pretty good game. But again, it is what it is. Like I said, they did a really bang up job, and you gotta really celebrate the defense for this, because they did a fantastic job in sitting up there and really coming up big in a game. Like, we needed the defense to win a game, and today they did that. Today, the Washington defense actually won the game. Even though they didn't score any points, they didn't get a lot of takeaways. But again, they still did enough. They did enough. Like I said, the interception. The interception. I think they got a fumble recovery too. I think they got a fumble recovery as well. But like I said, man, I'm just excited to see them play this well. Not only that, this leads us into a very big game. A very, very big game. That game, with us going up 95, that's going to be one huge game for Washington. That game will let everybody know Washington is in fact a true playoff contender and is somebody to be concerned with as the season goes on, because again, this was a good starting point and a good test to lead them into the next game. 4-1. We haven't seen that in a very long time, but 4-1, man, it's good to see this team actually succeeding, especially when you talk about the ADE era, after Dan era. It's on the right course. You know, we don't have coaches telling us how we need to be positive and just be positive. You know, we don't have to be concerned with that. We got a coach that's like, no, we need to go out there and win. We need to go out there and play more consistently. Like, those type of things make you as a fan feel better about, the team moving forward. So again, fantastic win. Washington wins 34. I keep saying 12. I think it was 34-12 or 34-13. Washington, yeah, I think it was 34-12 or 34-13. But Washington goes out there and becomes and just does the job. They do their job, and because of that, I'm really, really excited about this upcoming game. This Baltimore game is a game. It will be a game. You're talking about our sister team, right up 95. We're either going to show that we can stick with them, or we could be blown out. But it's hard for me to think that that's going to happen, because the team is balanced now. This was one of those games where we see the balance happening. We see what can happen when the balance is in play. And what we're seeing is a team that is balanced. Again, fantastic game. Like I said, defensive line, we gotta praise the defensive line. The defensive line did more than their job today. Like I said, they kept Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner clean. Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu did not have to worry about linemen getting to the second level or linemen blocking them and getting in their way. Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner played a hell of a game, and that was because the defensive line did their job. On to Baltimore. How do y'all feel? Are y'all enthused and excited about this? I've now moved my needle. I said that they were only going to win about 5, 6, or maybe even 7 games. I will now move my needle. With the upcoming games that they have, when you think about Baltimore, their next 3 games is, I think it's Carolina, Chicago, and the Giants. Or it might be Chicago, Carolina, and the Giants. Something like that. But that is a schedule that you could probably march through and end up at 7. You can end up at 8-1. You can end up at 7-2. So again, still one of those things where, again, Washington is doing their job. They're really doing their job, and they look good. So tell me, how do y'all feel at this point? How are y'all feeling about this game? How do y'all feel about the season? Have y'all moved y'all needle? So again, I said that I moved my needle. I will say I'm going from 7, maybe at the most 7 wins. I'm going to move my needle. I'm going to move my needle up to 10. 10-11. I think that they can actually win 10 to 11 games. And again, this is barring anything happening. I think that we can actually win about 10 games. So again, y'all tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about this win? How does it make you feel as a fan knowing that the new era is actually producing better than what the old era was producing? And can we forget about the old era now that we see a level of success on the field that a lot of us haven't seen in a very long time? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.